right. Intro song done. On Def and on Discord done. Up and up.
Oh,
Transition done. All right.
right.
All right. Welcome back to the Neon Podcast, everybody. For those who are here, quote unquote, on time, because I'm already late. But what's new for me starting a podcast episode? Episode 171. Hello, everyone. And it's another Wednesday, but it's not just another episode. We have a new guest today. Wee! Yay.
Hello!
Hello.
Yay!
Yeah, yes. So this look at
Oh, I'm so sleepy. So sorry.
I know. So for context, before this person introduces themselves, they joined VC and were like, "I'm so eepy." I went, "All right, we'll keep the episode a little short." So for those who want even more content, I'm sure that person
Well,
can introduce themselves and their socials and stuff, and you can find them because they're awesome, and that's why I
aw.
invited them here and we can chat and all that good stuff. So well, new person, as I vaguely describe that you're EP and you have other socials and various forms of platforms, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Thank you, Neil. Hi, I am Alicia. I am your local husky assassin. I murder demons and I give you good dreams because that's the thing I do. My cat just meowed at me. Pardon him. He's a little rude. He doesn't know how these things work. But yeah, like you can find me on almost every socials. As Awaba Aishi. That's it. Yeah. That's me.
And that's it,
Yeah, like
everyone. That's the Neon
yeah.
Podcast episode. Thanks for coming by.
I just do horror gaming and stuff. I'm just a gremlin. I'm tired, though. That's so energy. Low brain. No brain.
Well, Aishi, well,
Empty.
thank you for being here first of all. I was like, oh
Okay.
man, if you told me you're like not feeling it, I could have postponed for like another week or something. I don't know, cause
No, I made a promise. I was like keep it to my word, and like I only started feeling like the heavy eep like not even an hour ago. It was
oh.
like 30 minutes ago, and I was like, oh shit, it's too late to back out now. I I don't. You already made your like announcement and everything. I was like, I don't want to tell him to hold back. Oh no, I feel bad.
Oh
Yeah.
man. Well, so that's how it was for an hour ago. But like, how are you doing overall? How you been?
Pretty good, pretty banger, pretty yum yum. I've been really busy, a lot on on the behind the scenes, working on a lot of my own stuff in my personal life. So I haven't been able to stream as much as I used to.
Mm, mm. Is it
Yeah.
how as far as like working on your own stuff, is this stuff to like you just happen to be working on, or are these projects that you're gonna end up releasing or announcing later on? I'm not like I'm poking and prodding without pulling anything out.
It's eventual release stuff. Yeah,
Mm, mm,
eventual. Mm-mm-mm.
yeah,
I'm working really hard
yeah.
on my stuff. Mm-mm.
And for those who also don't know, Aishi was like, "Oh yeah, Gremlin and horror games and all the other stuff," but not to mention, like, I feel like this is a big part, by the way. Um,
Yeah.
like the involvement of yourself in music is kind of big.
Oh,
But I
is
mean, I'm not
it?
I'm not saying like your projects are music related. They might be. I don't know. But I'm just saying, right?
No, you
Over
are.
the past like 3-4 months, I've just been seeing cover and after cover after cover, and I'm over here like,
Yeah, I'm
God
like taking a
damn.
break. I'm taking a break on those because the thing is that I'm really bad at hyper focusing on thing. Like I over hyper focus, and
Okay.
I love metal music. I love rock, and so almost like literally all those covers I
Hmm.
did them the same night that I heard the song, or like I was like I feel like doing this song. I'm gonna do the song, so I did it in like one night, and then I posted the next.
Oh my. So you did like full 6 songs in a day, but you
I guess so.
but then you still went back to like edit the video, post
Yeah.
it, and then not just post it, do post production and then post it. Oh my
Yeah.
god, you're crazy.
I'm a little bit of a workaholic. I can't help myself.
Oh.
I do everything mainly because like I can't afford much. So like
Mm.
and also I'm very much like what's it called? I try to pinch my pennies per se, I guess. I like saving my money
Oh.
for other things like food.
That's
uh
really
yeah.
understandable though. Makes
Yeah, I like
sense.
spending my money on food because I like eating. I like feeding my body and giving myself nutrients.
There we go.
But
I
with
like
that,
how
I like
the
to
more you talk
spend
about it, it's just like, yeah, it's delicious, but also survival.
survival of the delicious. It's not the survival of the fittest. It's the survival of the delicious.
Mm, I know that
Yeah.
too well.
It's a good food. I like cooking sometimes too here and there, but I'm not the best at it. I literally made like hot Cheeto ramen. It's a problem. It was a struggle meal, okay? It was
Okay, but low key though, I feel like when you have like a good struggle meal, sometimes it just hits different. It hits good.
listen. It was pretty good until the Cheetos got soggy.
Wait, how to explain how that worked though? What exactly is a hot Cheeto ramen?
So so hot Cheeto ramen, ignore that. That is the police, yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, definitely police. But yeah, hot Cheeto ramen's basically just like packaged ramen, but
Uh-huh.
we pour out all the water right after you pour out, like a good amount of the water. You leave a little bit, just enough to hit, like cover like maybe a tiny centimeter of the bottom of the plate.
Sure.
Uh,
Okay.
and then you put in the package like flavoring, and you
Okay.
shove in cheese all up in it, and then it gets
Okay.
like a really cheesy like noodles, right?
Mhm.
Oh no, and he sorry my cat.
Don't worry about it. Don't I don't mind.
And then you put hot Cheetos on top,
Uh-huh.
and you just that's it.
Oh,
You
okay.
you just mix it around, and it gets soggy and a little weird if you don't eat it fast enough. So yeah.
Okay. Understandable. That has definitely been something that I was like, it's like, I wonder if you get creative with it or is it exactly how it sounds like it is. Hi, Kane, by the way, in chat. So,
It's literally exactly how it sounds. It's just cheese and ramen, but it's not like broth ramen. It's straight up just like really salty ramen with Cheetos on top.
oh my God, the struggle. It's,
The struggle meal, man.
it's funny. Like, I think it was like 2 months ago that 2 weeks in a row, we talked about having struggle meals, like for real, as a whole ass topic, and that's just so funny. I'm like, we struggling out here, fam. We
We're really
are.
out here.
We
We're
really
really
out
out here.
here. We do. We
I
trying.
I made a video of like making like one of those sandwich edit parodies.
Uh huh.
So I thought that would be funny, and it was. And I only had condiments in my fridge.
Uh huh.
I had like no meat, only cheese and like mustard and mayo and shit. And I didn't have anything else. I didn't have no meat. I didn't have no bologna. I didn't have like chips. I just had pure sauce and cheese. And I had bread, and I was like, I'm gonna make a really yucky, gross looking sandwich with this, and I'm gonna eat it and then eat the plate because I can, and I did.
I'm pretty sure
And
I saw that one if you posted it, because
yeah,
I went I know this meme. I went, oh, oh,
it's
that
my version.
that was
Yeah.
pretty good. It was pretty good.
It was disgusting. It was the plate was like every single like picture I took because like I had to take pictures because of the video being
Right,
like a frame by frame, right?
of course.
And when I was taking apart and tearing out and tearing up that plate, it was covered in sauce. So like every picture, I like my fingers were covered in sauce. So I had to keep washing my hands over and over and over, and like the sink was full of like just like chunky sauce. It was gross.
All for the meme and the content,
It was
honestly.
for the memes. You gotta do what you gotta do for the memes, man.
Exactly. That's
Mhm.
the stuff I have people don't appreciate enough. It's like, oh wow, you the effort to go into this for such a simple bit sometimes is the best.
I genuinely was like, when I first saw that video meme, because I was like, "Oh my god, I really wanna make this meme."
Mhm.
I I first thought it was really simple, and then I did it, and I'm like, "Oh my god, this takes way more effort than I expected." 'Cause I had to grab all the condiments, lay them out, and then, like, take one by one, slowly, like, after each picture. It was like a minute each picture, trying to move things in place. And then, like, I had a video each bite, and, like, I was running back and forth between the trash can and the bites because I was spitting it out. So it
I
was,
was
like,
gonna ask you if you
being a
actually ate it,
mess.
but that answers that question.
No, it was too gross, but I did it for the ha-has. I had to.
Very
I
nice.
had to. You
We
gotta do it for the meme.
we
Do it for the
appreciate
vine.
the effort, or at least
Mhm.
if not we, I appreciate the effort.
Thank
Actually.
you. Thank you. Thank you for appreciating my weird ass efforts to do dumb shit. It's to make a sandwich out of literal condiments. Yes, I love ketchup. I love mayo. I love aioli. Gorilla. No, that's garlic.
Gorilla.
That I don't know why I thought gorilla. Garlic. Garlic.
Garlic.
Garlic. I don't know why I thought gorilla. Gorilla. Gorilla.
Oh man, that's
Thank
hilarious. Well,
mm,
oh my goodness. So you've been working on a bunch of stuff. You're taking a break, a small break from streaming here and there, and you're doing other
mm,
stuff. But let's rewind it back. Let's rewind it back. It's your first. I got to do this because it's the first episode you're on, and you're a VTuber. Yada yada. I think that it's just a formality because but my podcast is honestly an excuse for me to talk to people, and it just happens to be streamed and recorded. This is
uh, uh,
everything
uh,
else. Everything else is a formality. But me, this is to really because we've interacted, on and off since we've
mm,
met at Off Kai. Um,
yeah.
I don't. Apparently, you had a vague knowing of me beforehand. I had a vague knowing of you beforehand, but
Yeah, they're
but
mutual friends.
yes, exactly. All the mutuals, aka you.
I
Yeah, shout out to
love
you, by the
you.
way. Yeah, we love her.
I love her.
So,
My wife for life.
ex- well, I can't say that, but
She's my wife.
that's her.
Final answer.
One
I
of.
love her.
There you go. Shout out you if you see this. I don't think she's here, but for you, where did all of this start for you? Were you a content creator? Were you did you always know you wanted to be a VTuber? Were you making content before
Mm,
you were a VTuber? What's the backstory? Either you know before this version of your model, yada yada. However you want to
mm.
tell this story, whether it's
Okay,
lore based or non lore
it's
based, whatever.
a long story, sir.
Okay, however compact you want to make it
I'll
to.
I'll try my best. Hold on.
Okay, I got you.
I
I
had a
got
burp.
you. Okay.
Give me sorry. Okay.
Mm-mm.
Like, like why did like did I how did I start streaming and stuff and like getting into all this stuff?
Yeah, basically.
Um, it's somewhat of a long story, but also kind of like a short and like the long story is basically like I growing up I really wanted to do content creation for a while. Like I dabbled here and there, but I was never really too big on like social media
Mm.
or like using it in general. I barely used it when I was younger. Like the most I used social media wise was like probably Snapchat, but even then I only used it for like school. And
Wait, how do you
growing up
use
my
Snapchat for school?
because I had like group chats with like my
Oh,
classmates
okay, okay.
and I was in a specific like special like academy class, so we had like students that were we all had the same classes. Like all of us had specific classes together.
Right,
Like
right.
I had the same classmates almost every class basically. Because we were part of the same academy like program, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
we had to keep our classes as close as possible. So yeah. Um that was why I only really used Snapchat, and I used Instagram maybe a little bit, but like not too much. I didn't really like Instagram. It is weird there, and also I barely posted on there. I used it for like I don't even know how long, very short time because I did not like it. Um, it's just really hard to navigate for some reason. I don't know. I don't understand the algorithm on that either. And also the
Yeah.
community is really fucking weird on there at least. Well, I guess it's the Insta comments, Insta reels. It's a little weird there.
Mhm.
Uh, but yeah, I didn't use social media very much, and then I got to the point after graduating high school, almost like oh my god, so weird. Was it 5 or 4 years ago? I think it was. Oh, not even. It's longer than that. I don't even remember anymore. It's been that long. Oh,
Oh my goodness.
but it was a long time ago, and after I graduated high school, it was like literally the time COVID happened, and
Mhm.
um that's when I started kind of feeling like I didn't have much meaning to my life other than working a 9 to 5, you know? So for like the next 2 years, I started working a 9 to 5, and over that time I started discovering VTubers,
Mhm.
and the first VTuber I really watched was Gura. And I thought it was pretty fucking cool, and I was like, "Whoa, she's an artwork that can move. I like that. I want to do that. That's a thing you can do. There are people who do this and
Mhm.
can still stream and be popular, I guess, or like make a difference in the world. I want to do that." And like I kept seeing people being like, "I'm so inspired by Gura," and I'm like, "I want to inspire people. That's a huge goal of mine."
Aw.
And um, as I was like watching all this stuff, like I started kind of questioning my own like endeavors within my life because I felt like a very normie. Like I felt like I was wasting my life away doing a 9 to 5, and I could do more with myself, especially since like a lot of my skills, even at the time before learning Live 2D, they were all very artistic based.
Mhm.
Like I always did painting and art and like drawing and stuff. I wasn't very good at digital art yet because I never had a tablet. I never had a computer. I never had a laptop in my life
Dang. Oh.
before becoming a VTuber.
Mhm.
And uh, it came a time during Christmas, and I started like collecting money from like my Christmas money. And I that was also like the last year I was gonna get like a big sum from my family because every Christmas normally, for the quote unquote kids they give money, and since I was growing up, that was like their last kind of like giving money to me, you know?
Right, right,
Because like when you get older, you don't get much Christmas gifts, right?
right.
But that was like my Christmas gift, and I saved that money, and then I started working very hard to get a computer, and I raised enough money to get a computer of my own, and I bought myself a computer for my birthday. Um, and that was like the only gift I received was from myself. And honestly, best gift I ever received was from myself.
Nice.
And after that, I started up the computer. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I'm not a technical person. I'm really bad at tech. Like I know nothing. I didn't know anything. I had no friends, no connections. Like
Mm,
I
mm,
knew nobody online. I had like maybe one or two IRL friends, and they also didn't know like much about VTubers or anything.
mm,
So or even streaming. I didn't know anybody who could stream. Like the most that I had was VR chat, but even then, a lot of those people I stopped talking to because I stopped using that a long time ago. Before then, and so I was kind of lacking of connection, and so from there, I kind of was like, you know what? I guess I got to take it step by step and just start, you know. But I started as a PNG, and I was like, okay, first steps first, make a
mhm,
character. Um, and so my first character that I ever made was like this blue bunny, like fancy looking character. She's a little inspired by my VR chat model I had at the time because I often used like smaller models because
mhm.
I liked being small. I liked
Schmo.
being tiny and cute.
Mhm,
And at the time, I liked being cutesy, and being, and so I made this model that was like kind of like when there was a winter coat. I had like a winter coat with like think of Punkalopi's model, but blue basically.
mm,
It was
okay.
literally that. That was over 3 years ago when I made that design,
Mm,
and after that, I kind of just like ran with it for a while. The outfit was like my first ever outfit that I made, and I had a Vroid model I made because I was looking on how to make VTuber models. I did not know how to do like digital art yet. I didn't even have like an art program yet. At the time I was using Krita. Like
Mm.
that was at the time like the cheapest you can get for an art program for somewhat good quality. Um and that was like my first art program I used to make models. And my first model was not it. I it was absolute jank. So I was like, I give up. I'm gonna try Vroid. And so I did Vroid for like a little bit. Like I made like one or two models for myself, and that was like my model for the while I was teaching myself how to do digital art.
Mhm.
And as time kind of passed, I started like making my own model. And my first ever model was like same thing, blue bunny, but I had like a fancy little dress and like little like this like smaller skirt with like a big train behind me and like
Ooh.
a big bowl on my back, and like I had my hat and my hair down. Like it was just like simple, really simple hair. Like I had like a blue gradient at the end of my white hair. Um, but I used to have white hair. Yeah, that's crazy. I had a little hat. I had like little tea parties here and there. It's like very fancy, very like how do you explain it? It was very posh looking and
Very
uh
demure, as the memes say
very
right now.
demure.
Mhm.
Very posh. It was, like, very fancy looking, but, like, the artwork was not fancy. It was just the design, like, was supposed to look like I'm a fancy, like, princess or whatever, you
Mhm.
know?
Mhm.
Because I was supposed to be a god of bunnies, and, I don't know why I decided a tea dress would be perfect for that. A dress that you would wear to tea, like, I looked like that, and, that was my first ever model, and then I wanted to learn rigging because I didn't know how to rig yet, and I didn't have much money. So of course it's the broke bitch hours. You can't afford things. The models are so expensive. I had no money. I literally just started the workforce not long before then, and I was
Mhm.
saving all my money then, even now, for like food and like bills and stuff,
Right,
and
right.
for putting back into stream. And I felt like a model wasn't really as important as as like making a community. I don't know. I felt like my model was like the least of my worries because I wanted to do it myself and I knew I had the capabilities at some point to do it.
Mhm.
So I just kept going. And I made another model after that one, and I was taught to how to rig by my friend Bombizilla. He was like one of my first few friends that taught me how to rig and like how it started. He taught me all the basics basically. And I had a little banana model as my first like ever model I
Banana?
rigged. Yeah,
Okay.
I have like banana sheet. I literally it was like a chibi version of that model, but in a banana suit. That
Oh,
was very
okay.
cute. Yeah, that was my first ever time rigging something, and that's what he taught me. And I learned a lot from that, and from that I started picking up rigging, and I rigged my first ever model, um, which was indeed like it was if I remember correctly, it was a model where I had water in my tummy. Like
Oh.
I had a liquid physics in my tummy because I thought it would be cool to learn how to do liquid physics. I can't
Oh.
remember if I did something before then. I'm pretty sure I had another model before then. I just can't remember.
Mhm.
But I did that model, and that was my second ever model I ever made, and I did that rigging myself.
Dang,
And
dude.
the rigging was not the best. I'll be dead ass. Oh, wait, no, actually, that was my second model. My bad. My first ever model, I deleted after my fucking brain in existence because the rigging was so bad. Um, but it was basically the same outfit of like this like pretty like l- ballroom looking type outfit, like royalty type look,
Uh-huh.
and in like same bunny ears, like one was swapped over, one was swapped up, like blue tinges at the end.
Mhm.
Um, but the rigging was horrendous. And then I was really proud of it. I was still really proud of it because I was like, oh my god, first time I ever rigged a model, and I debuted it. And after that, I kept learning, and I kept rigging, and so I made my next model, which was that liquid one, and I was able to have a little bit more movement with that one. I did not have much of like this movement at that time, like this left right movement,
Uh-huh.
because I'm still learning, but I had the liquid physics and they looked awesome. I was very proud of that. And a lot of my chatters at that time thought it was really cool. So I'm glad they liked it. And after that was when it became to my final model, which was same thing, Blue Bunny, but I started wearing like normal clothes. I had like a like a like a off the shoulder jacket and like this cute like tube top kind of look. Well, not
Mm-hmm.
tube top, but like you know what I mean, like this, but a shirt that covered my whole body.
Right, 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 right.
Yeah, I had a white like sweater type shirt and a skirt, like a cute little blue skirt. I can't remember exactly how it looked like. It's been deleted from my brain. Um, but it took me about 2 years to get to that point of, or like was it a year or two? I can't remember. It's been, oh my god, I think it was like 2 years.
That's
Um,
crazy.
to get to that point, and then uh that whole journey while I was learning all these things and doing all these things at that, like from like beginning to the end, I was making
Mm-hmm.
friends and stuff and like somewhat networking, but I was mostly trying my best to really like do it naturally, like natural connections.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like that more, though I was a little more out there at that time because I was a little more open. Um, after I went through some stuff during those times as well. I don't know if you know about it. I don't know if I want to talk about that here because it's very heavy
Yeah,
for
no
me
worries.
and
I
other
have an
people.
idea. I have an idea.
Yeah, it's somewhat heavy for other people to hear, I guess, as well, since it's something a lot of people go through.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, like because manipulation's really, really, really bad. And I went through that with my ex partner per se, and um, before then it was like fine, happy dandy, but I was going through a lot of mental issues with like struggling with being happy with my numbers, being trying to grow, like trying to be happy with the fact that I'm doing it naturally and like be happy that I have like a community that likes me for me, even if it's like a small one, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was trying my best to like be okay and learn and just keep growing and stuff. And uh, it was really hard with that person because they were very, how do you say, egotistical, I guess. They had a huge ego.
Right.
So, and their way of connection is big number equal big number for them. So, they often were clout chasing and often would advise that I would too, that I should, even though it wasn't like directly said like clout chase. It was more of the, oh, you should talk to people with bigger numbers, like blah blah blah. And it's like
Right, right.
I want to talk to everybody. I want I want to make friends where friendship matters because like you someone can be like the tiniest little bean ever and be like one of the sweetest people I ever met, like someone can have like barely 20 followers and like maybe like like one or three viewers and still be like one of the sweetest people ever. It does not matter the size of number or anything. It's the fact that like friends and stuff, um you know it's just it is a struggle for a while. And as time passed, I did find those connections. I slowly started distancing myself from that group.
Mm-hmm.
um and I started to go a little bit more vigilante, I guess. Not really. I had like
Vigilante.
I had my friends. I had my friends, they had their friends. I tried sticking within my group because I started to shut people out a little bit more because I was a little more wary of who I trusted, and it was more out of fear of that person. And so I really hinged myself down uh to only trust my group of friends, and I was very careful to make friendships after that. But time passed. My community started to grow. I started to grow as a person. I started to grow a little more happier as well, and then it started going downhill again. um and then the final moment came of, oh, I got to graduate due to some life stuff that happened and some new job opportunities that I took up, and that was taking a lot of my time. And I ended up having to graduate at the time. But the reason why I was so eager so fast, because I was advised not to really do that super early from my IRL job, that like I don't have
Mm.
to quit VTubing, like my streaming stuff. But I wanted to really bad, like right away, because I didn't want to be in the VTubing community anymore. I
Oh.
I couldn't stand the community with how toxic it was becoming, and like not my community. My community was perfect and fine.
Right,
I
just
never.
like the general larger
It's
at
just
hand.
generally the VTubing community was too scary. My
Mhm.
everything I went through with my ex partner really tore me to pieces, and
Mhm.
I was terrified of him actually, because I knew what he was capable of when it came to like manipulation, you know.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
And I didn't know if he would or not do like anything bad. It was just the simple fear, the rational fear of it
Right.
because of what I went through. And like I'm not saying that he wouldn't be saying something bad or not. It's just the fact that I was afraid that he would try to manipulate more people and lie, to make me look bad, which behind the scenes he did. He was defamating my name behind the scenes.
Mhm.
Um, but again, that kind of fed into my fear, so I wanted to leave super fast, and I did. Um, I eventually, like, during that graduation stream, or like 2 streams before then, I debuted this model that I'm currently using, and it was my first time switching out of the bunny because I didn't want to be a bunny anymore. I really
Mm.
didn't want to be a bunny. I I felt like that part of me wasn't me anymore. I felt like I grew out of it. It wasn't Aishi. It felt like a facade, especially since um like when I was the bunny, I was often doing stuff that I was told to really do to make the numbers,
Right,
which did not
right.
help. Like
Mhm.
stuff like be more lewd, make more lewd jokes, do this, do that, and it's like okay, whatever makes the numbers, I guess. That was when I was with this group, by the way, this old friend
Right.
group,
Mhm. Mhm.
and when I was still around him, the ex partner, and a lot of them were like, "Oh yeah, lewd cells," which
Right.
is like not completely true, but at the same time, you don't have to be lewd to make it somewhere. That's
Exactly.
kind of where I stood, and like they're very much advisatory of like, yeah, try it, like it'll help, like just do it, type thing, or like it
Mhm.
works
Mhm.
really well. Which like they're not wrong, it did, but it garnered an audience that I didn't really want to see me as, and it started to make me feel really uncomfortable because I was doing things that at first were out of my comfort zone, and then I was like okay with it at the beginning, and then it slowly started becoming like I don't like this anymore. I'm uncomfortable. It feels weird. I'm garnering an audience who was very very social, or
Mm.
always like
Mm.
being weird and saying like I was like sexy or all these things, and it made me feel like icky, gross, like no,
Right, 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 right,
you
right.
know.
Mhm.
And it just didn't feel like me. I didn't feel like myself, and um even then I had a lot more energy when I was streaming, but I felt like a lot of that energy was put on for in a way a show. And right after stream, I'd instantly get drained. I would I would end that stream button
Mhm.
and go and then shut everything off. Like my brain shut down, like the moments like
Mm.
stream would end, because I used up so much of my energy just to stream, and then it started not becoming funny anymore because I was using so much of my energy, you
Right.
know,
So
and
draining. Mhm.
growing very drained, very tired, very like ippy, very hurt, It was not the best conditions, and
Mm.
it also was affecting my mental health. So yeah, that graduation kind of pushed me to somewhat of the edge. And if it weren't for the fact of my like job and stuff, I feel like I would not be here in general.
Mhm.
Like I don't think I would ever like be happy or like who I was or who I am or want to be around, you know.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, to say so the least. Yeah. It was kind of like my lifesaver, my job. And it pushed me to just keep working harder and harder. So while I was gone, I was working still. I was still working on projects. I was still doing stuff. I was still working on Aishi things.
Mhm,
I was I was still doing things. But it was more for myself and for my friends, and I liked doing things with my friends. Even when I was gone, I was still making friends like in the VTubing scene because well, I still liked making friends. Like they're just coincidentally VTubers because they're friends of friends. But I was making a lot of friends still, like out of behind the scenes and trying to find a place I kind of belonged, you know? Because for
Mhm,
a while I was starting to grow, like after that whole group fell apart. Um, and I started growing uncomfortable with the group. I wanted to find somewhere I fit in and I didn't feel lonely anymore type thing. And my friend Yua actually was the reason why was in the group that I am today and why I have the friends that I have today is because of her. I feel that like I know she's gonna be like no, but genuinely I feel like it's because of her. If it weren't for her, I would literally not be here. I would feel so lonely and depressed if it weren't for her, and I would not
mm.
have the friends that I have today. I would not have the motivation that I had today. Still, like I feel like
Aw.
if it weren't for her, I there was a lot. There would be a lot missing in my life, and I'm so grateful to her for that. Cause she introduced me to my friend Aruna,
Mhm,
and from Aruna, she introduced me to a whole load of other new VTubers and people, and all these people have grown to be like some like not all of them, but most of them have grown to be like pretty good friends of mine now
mhm,
that I do genuinely try to watch and like I very much care for them, you know.
mhm.
I care for a lot of them and all of them so much uh after getting to know everybody. So it was like holy shit, like life changer. And I feel like I had a place to call home in a way other than my job, you know.
That's nice.
and
Mhm,
and it started to kind of be my safe space and I finally had my safe space after that like um I had some stuff happen in my
mhm,
life that gave me the opportunity to return and as like Aishi, and I originally did not want to. I never planned to come back. I never thought I would.
mhm,
That's why I said it as a graduation, not a hiatus originally. Because I did not want to come back. I originally wanted to stay away, but I had an opportunity to come back and uh, kind of still do this and work as well as kind of get back my creativity space, you know,
right.
release all those ideas and creativity that I've been holding back for so long. And I've been having a little bit of FOMO because I was watching a lot of my friends like do their thing and I'm like, "Oh my god, I miss streaming now. I miss doing this. I miss like working on videos. I miss this, I miss that." You know,
Mhm,
it was a lot of FOMO starting to happen and I was like, I want to come back. And I was a little afraid at the beginning because again, that person was still existing in the community at the time and I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I wanted to just do my thing, you know, and just come back and be happy with myself, focus on myself, stay in my lane, you know. And that's what I did. I came back. And
hey.
at first I was afraid because I was afraid people were going to forgot about me or just like I was gone for so long, why would they care, you know? That's what I was super like scared about. But I came back and there was like 10 times more people liking and looking at my stuff than I had before at the time and I was like, "What the fuck? Who are you people?" What the fuck? I just got back. Who are you?
Who are you people?
Who are you? What are you doing in my house? Yeah, you
Hi,
know,
GeForce.
it was like holy shit, people care. I didn't know. I didn't like realize I made that much of an impact on people. I like to this day I'm still in denial. I don't think I made much of an impact on and others I'm just a person, and like from my eyes I'm just someone who does whatever like in I like to do, you know. I'm just
Mm.
another person in the creative scene because I have a little brain who does a lot of little things, you know. So that's kind of where I stood for a while, and then some stuff happened, and I released a document on said bad person,
Uh-huh.
and they were already having their hand in trouble behind the scenes for the longest time and doing a lot of my friends wrong personally. Um, they were doing a lot of bad things, like even before my call out in a way, my
Mhm.
expose of them. Before then, they already had a lot. They were doing bad and doing wrong to others, and they wronged me in multiple ways that I never even mentioned, and I don't plan on ever. But yeah, it was kind of after that and after they left that I started feeling safe again in VTubing, and it's kind of where I am now, and I'm still like working on myself, still happy working on my creative endeavors, and I did all of this just to make people smile. Like my whole goal ever since the beginning was uh protect my friends, protect my community, stay with my community, make them happy, try to make friends. Like I was really lonely for the longest time before VTubing. I literally was like laying down on my bed like 3 years ago almost. Like it's crazy to think it's almost been 3 years. I think I can't even remember. It's been so long. Again, I don't know if it's 2 or 3, but one of the two. But I still remember laying in my bed and staring at the ceiling and being like, bro, I can be do so much more with myself than be laying here being a bomb on my ass, staring at the ceiling. And um in that moment I was like I need to do something, and I was like I want to make people smile. I want to change the world in some way. Whether it be small or within a community or just simply making people laugh and smile because that's something I enjoy.
Mm.
It's just that simple as I just want to make people laugh and smile and be myself
Mm.
and have like a space to be myself and never be judged. And uh to be honest, people still judge.
Of
It's just
course.
society.
It's
It's
just
society.
it's that we live
It's
in a
this
society. That's just natural
nature
human
of society.
nature. Exactly. It's just like it's an
So
inevitability.
yeah, but in a way, it's still comforting to have a space where people accept you,
Mhm.
even if it's like that's a reason I guess why it's called a community. At least that's how I see it. Is like it's your community because they're there for you. They're there to be there for you. They love you for you. They accept you for you.
Mhm.
So like make the most of it, you know. Like that's your community. That's your safe space. That should be your safe space. And if anyone tries to take that from you, destroy them with a bonk hammer.
Destroy. Yes. Yes.
Kick
Yes,
them out of
queen.
your life. They
Hell
don't deserve
yeah.
to stay.
That's what I'm
They don't
talking
deserve
about.
attention. And it's your spot, your space. You don't deserve to be treated like poo poo fart, you know?
Mhm.
You deserve to be treated like a queen and a
Yes,
king,
queen.
whatever you are, you know? So it's like, I treat my community like that. I don't also kind of on top of that, I don't really like calling my community fans. I don't like calling people fans. It feels very weird because it feels like I'm putting myself on somewhat of a pedestal if I started calling people that, and it makes me uncomfortable if I started doing that. It's like, ah, yeah, you guys are my fans. I'm this big old idol, and I totally love. I'm such a famous singer and shit. I'm a famous artist. I'm a famous rigger. Totally, I am just this big old person. Yeah, I'm so important. It's like no, I'm just another dude. I'm just a gal in this world. I'm just a
Right,
streamer.
right, right.
I'm just a dog. I'm just one of the dogs, bro.
Just
So it's like I don't like calling people fans. I just call them my community,
Oh my
my cutie
goodness.
pup tooties because they're so cute. I love them so much. I can never be more grateful to my community as well for being so caring towards me. because like I know I have a lot of like disappearing issues. I'm like Quark extension, bro. Like I disappear for a while and then I return back and they're still here, happy and wanting to go. You know,
Uh-huh. Dang.
it's
Mhm.
it's pretty happy. I'm glad that my community is the way that they are. At least how from I see it.
That's so that's just
That's why I'm
so
here.
crazy. I mean, I like all right, my turn to flirt a little bit in response to yours because I was like, man, you just hit everything that I wanted to ask you. You're just like all in one go. Let's go. And I'm just like, it's great because I'm just like,
Story
I'm
of my
no,
life.
no, but I'm here just like I'm enthralled by your story. I'm just like, yo, it starts off it's a whole story to it. Like, and yet, like, of course, it's not done. But there's like the troughs, the peaks, the lows, the highs. It's just oh, all within like the last just couple of years, which is like honestly for some
I'm
people
surprised
it's
how
kind
much
of
I
crazy because some people like me won't have anywhere near that kind of experience or different kinds of stories and stuff like that in like more in the same time frame. But then it's like you telling that story is really like you said, it's to inspire people and you make people smile and laugh. I'm over here, I'm just like, yo, this is like for me because this is my first time hearing, I would say, majority of this. I would say 70% of this is the first time I'm hearing, which is, like I said, really cool for me to just listen and hear people's story. But at the same time, because people have your own, like, life adventures and experiences, whether it's good or bad, it's so crazy to hear it sometimes because everyone has their own experiences and stories, which is like with yours, you're someone who I feel like at almost every single point has like their own unique twist to it because it's like, oh, you didn't grow up on like electronics and tech, and you're like, I'm like, what, you what? That's
I never had a
crazy.
computer or anything. The most I had was like a 3DS and a Wii. That was it. Like, like
A
I
Nintendo
had like a
kid.
DS and a Game Boy. Like I had that. I had like the old classic like game things. I had an Xbox. Like that was like the most like technological stuff that I had other than my phone and like messages because like school. I other than that and watching YouTube, that
Hmm.
was it. Like I don't even count YouTube as media. I just count it as like, oh, watching video. I don't really interact with people there. Just watch a video. I don't comment nothing. I just like move on next video. You know, like that's just how it was for the longest time for me for years. So even I was a little surprised at how well things have gone for me. I feel like I'm a little luckier than most. Like even though like it's been almost like 2.5 years, almost 3 years. Um, I feel like for some people that feels a little long. For me, that feels long. I don't know. I feel like I've been here longer than I realized.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
at the
yeah,
same time,
it's
I
all
don't know.
relative, right? So I mean, like, luck is definitely part of it, but I feel
Well,
like
to be fair,
from
for a whole year I was gone, to be honest. To be fair, a whole year I was gone.
yeah, that that
Almost.
was that was the point. That was the time where I'm like, "Oh, who's this person? Oh, they're graduating. Well then."
Yeah, it's
That's when I first came
sad.
across your name and your person. So,
Oh,
and I was
yeah,
like, "Oh, dang. Okay."
it's sad and it sucks because a lot of people discovered me the moment I was leaving. And I was like, oh, this sucks. Oh well, I gotta go. Peace out, brothers. I'm sorry.
I mean, you don't have to.
Bye.
It's not like you have to apologize. I was like, it was a choice that you were making, and not a big deal. Because I wouldn't say not a big deal, because I was one of those people who just happened to stumble upon your name and maybe interacted you like one time in a VC in like a group setting, but like because well, for me, that was the time where I started trying to integrate and meet new people, especially in the VTuber community. So I'm just like
Mm,
meeting new people along the way, and then your name gets dropped, and I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, okay. So I'm just like, oh, well, that just happened. Well, if I ever meet them in later in life or in a different life, so be it. And then look, here we are now. Uh, so I mean, that's kind of how things sort of happened. But then, like, just to like go back from the beginning, like you didn't have the tech background. You weren't that type of. You just wanted to make content and inspire people. And it's funny because that you said Gura, right? Gura was also basically my first VTuber. You know, he's
Oh,
like Keys and I disregard because I didn't
oh yeah, I
understand
remember.
VTubing at the time. I'm just like, oh, this is
I also
interesting.
I see Keys in the AI too. I didn't realize she was a VTuber
Yeah, yeah. I'm
when
just
I
like,
first
oh, this
saw her.
is
She was like,
cool.
she was technically the first VTuber I saw, but I didn't think about that as VTubing. I was like, oh, it's just a 3D like movement thing is VR chat.
Yeah,
Like I just thought it was like VR chat part two. And I was like,
yeah.
whoa, VR chat, whoa. Like I didn't think it as VTubing until I saw like Hololive and Gura, and I was like, oh, this is actually a thing.
Exactly, exactly. I went, wait. I was like watching in 2020. Oh, so this is VTubing. After like 6 months in of watching Hololive and learning about going down the VTuber rabbit hole, I went, wait a minute, Keys in the Eye 3 years ago. 3, 4 years
I
ago. I'm like,
really
wait a minute, this isn't oh my god.
I really wish I got into VTubing in 2020 because if I did, I feel like a lot more friends I would have been able to make because a lot of people could like keep to themselves nowadays.
Right.
You know,
Hmm.
rightfully so though, understandably and rightfully so, especially with how the community is these days. Because holy shit, why can't people talk to each other like adults, please? For fuck's sake, stop bringing your shit to Twitter. If it's something you talked to each other about before and can handle it like adults, just do it. If you can't and you already talked to them and you can't settle it and you need to make sure that they hear you out,
Hmm.
then maybe you can take a Twitter post. But
Yeah.
like don't just straight up go like instantly because like I literally saw like not even too long ago I saw like this might be somewhat controversial of an opinion. I don't know if it is or not, but this is my personal opinion
Go
as an
ahead.
artist, and as a someone who does commissions as well. I saw somebody who was doing like I can't remember if it was an art rigging commission, but it was a commission to say so the least.
Uh-huh.
And this person that was commissioning them was being very like indecisive, which is as an artist, I agree, very frustrating, very upsetting, very irritating. I don't blame the artist for being irritated with it,
Right.
but and like the thing is that with this artist, they had in their TOS that they give like one revision free or something like, and then the rest you have to pay for, right?
Uh-huh.
This artist gave them 6 revisions for free, and the person was still being very indecisive. And on both parts, it was a little irritating because yes, of course, like I would prefer if the commissioner would have like their idea put down already, so they aren't consistently mixing it up in their head. Or as an artist, sometimes what I do is I ask for my client to like once I accept their commission, if they are very being indecisive by like the second or first revision, I kind of let
Hmm.
them know, like, or like even before I start, I'm like, hey, can you make sure you have everything set in place? I want a reference and I want everything that you want exactly in this. And I'm gonna let you know you can't change your mind on this. And if you do, it won't be. It can only be once, and it's over.
Hmm.
And before I make the revision, I'll probably even ask, like, is that all you want to be revised, just to
Hmm.
make sure you know. And I feel like on both parts, it was a really bad communication issue between the two.
Hmm.
The problem that I had with the artist is that instead of like being like, hey, like originally at the beginning of like communicating properly, the artist just submitted like the work without telling them, like the commissioner, like why. And then when they did explain why, it was because the commissioner's being too indecisive, and kept changing things and kept revising. And um at that point, I somewhat don't blame the artist, but at the same time, you can't just like submit an artwork without being like telling the commissioner and just being like, yeah, oh well, get what you get what you get, like
Hmm.
here you go. Because like it still feels like they pay for that. If anything, maybe ask them to pay for the revisions. like like shit. Like you can keep working on it, just like it's a little irritating, but at least like tell them before submitting the thing.
Right, right.
Maybe, like, if you are a little irritated with it, first be like, "Hey, I'm a little irritated that you keep revising, so I'm gonna just submit it now. I apologize, and then submit it. But the thing the artist did is like they already submitted it. They were already like peace out, like this is over, and then it was just a mess. And it feels like it was like of course a nightmare client, of course. I don't blame, again, I don't blame the artist for being irritated. I would be too, but like I feel like a lot of that did not have to go on Twitter. It genuinely did not have to be called out. The commissioner, the only issue that they were having was the fact that they were indecisive. That's a simple fix of telling them, "Hey, can you just make a thing before you start going into this, right?"
Right.
And like again, the commissioner should have also read the TOS. That's what you gotta do when you commission people. You read their TOS because you never know what you're getting into sometimes. And some artists are a little strange, and every artist's TOS is somewhat different. You know, everyone has different TOS, so it's like, of course, please read the TOS. So I feel like on the commissioner's problem, they didn't read, and two, they did not like have a decisive decision before they even commissioned. So that was like the biggest issue, and they kept changing and changing and changing their mind.
Hmm.
And like I 100% agree. Like sometimes you don't know what you're getting until the first like thing, and of course you revise, but that's why one revision is free.
Right,
So you
right.
can think about it. Um but that's why you have to think very thoroughly once you get that first revision, because they're like before you get that first revision. That's why someone as an artist you got to communicate that, because sometimes people don't actually read it. I know it's not really your responsibility to explain to them, but at the same time it's really helpful for you and to save you the pain. Just to tell them like, hey, can you make a rough sheet first, before we continue, of like everything you want changed, and then just finalize that, because and that's gonna be the last thing before you have to start paying, you know. So again, communication key, but they made it seem like never like to warn other artists about this commissioner, like the artist like put all this shit out about the commissioner and like their nightmare client, whatever, and like how they went through all this. And I was like, oh man, bro. They, like, I'm reading through this and I'm like, damn, this really did not have to be here. Like I get nightmare clients suck, but at the same time, you can't just be like, yo, this person was a nightmare client. Never let this person commission you, because that's kind of ass. I'm gonna be honest.
Mm,
Like
mm,
that's not really okay in my opinion. Like that was not really means of announcement of don't let this person commission you, because that all that really was truly they were just being
right,
indecisive. Like that's again very simple fix of please work this out.
right, right.
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's so interesting because it's like I feel like people like that makes sense because there's money involved, there's time investment, but then there's also like what you said about just like VTuber and artist drama is just on Twitter,
It's petty.
especially. It's just like
Yeah.
people can blow stuff way out of proportion for sure. And I'm just like,
Um,
bro, even
I feel
if
like VTubers do that with other VTubers too. They have like
exactly,
one problem.
exactly,
The thing is
exactly.
that with that is that there is like moments where it is extremely important to announce something, like that's say like there's something really bad, like
Right,
against the
right,
law bad, or like something abusive, like or something really bad, you know. That's in means of announcement, of course. That's of course in mean in terms you can expose that. That's something that should be important to tell others to share, you know, if you feel like it would help you or save others, you know, or like just heal you, you know. If it's something that important, of course, like that's completely in the means too. But if it's some
right.
petty drama of like
Yeah, 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 yeah.
he didn't show up to my stream, fuck this guy, like, you know, like that's kind of petty. Like he didn't show up to my stream. He raided and left. Oh, it's like okay, bro.
I
Okay.
don't exactly. I'm just like, really, really. Oh,
Sometimes people gotta raid and run. They get tired. It's a streaming. It's draining sometimes. Okay, it's crazy. People can like start their dramas and stuff, but it's just I wish people would like talk to each other when it comes to like those type of things of like the well he didn't come to my stream. Oh, I can't believe him. Maybe he hates me. It's like well do you know that? maybe talk to them. Then you talk to them and see if they don't like you. Oh, they don't like you, block, it's like it's just easy, block them, like, or like mute them. You don't even have to block them if it causes an issue, just mute them. It's they don't You don't have to see them after that.
Right. That
If they
that's
keep looking at your content and you're getting really uncomfortable that they keep looking and stalking your shit, then maybe you can block them. Like, not even maybe, you can block them. You have full right to. It's like it's all up to person, but at least talk to each other first about certain things. If it's really
mhm.
that like petty type stuff.
Yeah, it's just too much sometimes. I think people, because they have the internet as a tool, as the medium, that it's like the same thing as freedom of speech, but then sometimes because the social aspect is, it's just like a dog pile of unnecessary people getting involved. And I'm just like, wow, good thing I don't care about half these things. And I try, and I don't think I've done anything to get myself involved in anything, which is good, I would say.
The only time I truly get involved, or like I don't even try to get involved. I just like the only time I really care, give my condolences is when it's my friends
Right,
involved in
exactly.
something. Because I'm
Hi,
concerned for
Chris. Good
them. Like
job
I
on
care
third.
for my
Even
family. I
no
don't
one
I don't
redeemed
like
first or
seeing them hurt.
second.
I don't like seeing them go through really bad things. And so I'm always like at least like DMing them like, hey, I hope you're okay. Like even if we haven't talked in a while and I see they're going through something, I still try to like give them my condolences because like I care about my friends.
Right.
I don't like watching them get hurt. Even if I haven't talked to someone in a long time, I still care about them. I
Exactly.
I still want them to be happy and in a good place. I still want them. I still wish them the best.
Mhm.
Uh, I never try to hop on no fucking bandwagon. That shit pisses me off
Yeah, me
personally.
too, me too. No, I get it.
And
I get it. Yeah.
like I try my best to still like try to give my friends like the care that they deserve because it's never fun to get involved in really bad stuff. It's never fun to have to deal with quote unquote drama,
Mhm.
which there's two different things between that. I wish people would recognize is there's the difference between trauma and drama. there's people who say stuff like the stuff that I went through. I That was trauma. Not That was not drama. That was trauma.
Trauma. Different.
The drama was my ex-partner trying to make it well, he wasn't even trying. He was just really bad at apologizing over and over and over and not actually being apologetic. That's when it became drama, and I did not want to deal with that.
Mhm.
Like that's not stuff to put time into. But like again, it's more like there's a difference between trauma and drama. Please let others understand this. Wish more people would understand this because oh my god. It's so irritating when especially when someone I see my friends, I have friends who've gone through stuff themselves and they talk about it to like let others know and like simply also to kind of let them heal to
Mhm.
like have like that somewhat it was like how for me it felt like I had an injustice for a year and a half when I was dealing with my shit and when I was really down in my deep hole of like the void of depression. I
Mhm.
felt so much injustice. That's why I felt so hurt all the time. That's why I could not heal. It was because I felt the injustice and when I finally got my justice by like exposing what happened to me,
Mhm.
that was the trauma and stuff. And I hurt to see others kind of go through that same somewhat situation of like in their trauma and they have their way of healing by letting others know like what they went through and then people on Twitter use that as an opportunity to be like, so much drama. Here's a little drama break. And it's like, okay, buddy. Like there's a you are literally disrespecting someone's like it just feels like disrespect of someone's like experience at that point. It
Right.
feels like you're just using like you're disrespecting someone's experience for interaction bait. And it that's what it feels like. And it honestly kind of hurts to see
Mhm.
especially when it's my friends who've gone through it and to like something and then I see like on my feed after like everything goes down after everyone like seen whatever they went through. I see all these interaction beats of like, okay guys, so much drama happening, like why can't we just like chill and like so here's a picture of like me he being really cute he and it's like
Mhm.
okay maybe try being cute, but don't use the drama as your little clickbaity thingy or whatever. Or like your little giving me a break from drama. It's like, okay, just be cute. You don't need to mention the drama or quote unquote the trauma that's happening to people. Okay, you can just
Hmm.
do your thing. Like ignore the other shit going on, please. Like if you really don't want others to pay attention to it, just
Don't.
ignore it.
Just don't.
Just ignore it. Just do your thing. Be happy and do your silly ha-has. You want to make people smile and laugh? Just be cute. Like just be your cute self. You don't have to mention the fact that there's stuff happening, you know?
Right.
Because that's like partially disrespectful to others, but at the same time, it's like also really interaction baity, and it's a little irritating to see. At least from my perspective, that's how it feels for me.
No, I get it. I get it. I feel like I'm more or less like 90% on the same page as you. Because you're like
Yeah.
you were saying, it's like, I don't want to be involved directly, but if like it's people I care about that need like emotional, mental support, like I'll be
Yeah.
there to support them. Not
Right. I'm
not
not
the
even gonna like
dogpile.
meddle.
Yeah, I'm not
I'm
gonna
not gonna
meddle. I'm just like, hey, you need someone to talk to, you okay? I'm there to
Yeah,
check in. I'm not there to and
exactly.
I'm not to
Exactly.
incite anything.
Exactly.
So, but
You
I
you
get it. Same
you
thing with
you
the
just wanna be a shoulder for them.
exactly, and then same thing with the other thing. I'm just like, why? With your other point, it's just the same thing of, man, why, why?
I
just,
don't know, man.
just,
It's
I,
whatever gets the clicks, I guess,
yeah. I
at that
mean,
point for some
it,
people.
yeah. Some people use it as a tactic. Some people are just ignorant and do it anyways, and they're like, oh
I feel
yeah,
like it's I feel like it's somewhat of ignorance is bliss. I feel
yeah.
like a lot of it's the fact that they don't wanna see it as disrespect. They didn't they I feel like a lot of people genuinely think they're just doing something good for the community or something. I don't know. Or like, oh, bad things are happening. I want to make people smile. I'm gonna be like, oh, too much happening around us. Take a look at me. It's like, okay, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I sometimes I can see like where the goodness is coming from, but at the same time, it's not in the good way.
Right.
It doesn't make that person who's going through whatever they're going through feel good.
Right. Right.
It feels like a little bit of disrespect and ignorance
Yeah.
towards that person's experiences. So it's
Mm.
like, damn, bro,
No, I
be so
get
so.
you. Yeah. It's
Be
cool.
so so.
You know what's so interesting about it? It's like you this the whole holistic thing about this whole episode and just having you talk and listening. It's just like, wow, this is like the scope gets bigger and bigger, and then we narrow it down to a topic, and then I'm like, damn, and then you broaden it out. I'm just like, damn. I'm like, damn, dude. I'm over here just like in my own little corner of the internet. I'm like, whoop de doo, and I'm like, oh look, a car fire, doo doo doo. And
Uh,
it's so it's crazy because it's like, I wouldn't say crazy, but to have someone who understands it and has their own like perspective, because you've been in this space, like you said, for you 3-4 years. I would say
three
it's a
to two.
long 3 to 2, all right, 2 to 3 is
Yeah.
it's still a relatively long time in any content creator space. And
Mm.
it's for things and people like yourself that's just trying to do positive, right? And then to be that good influence to make people smile and happy. I'm just like, man, it sucks because sometimes, especially when it comes to entertainment, but especially when there's people who have so many both uh similar but sometimes clashing goals or ideals and mindsets or whatever, is that everyone's not gonna like each other, everyone's not gonna be on the same page, but then at the same time that things just end up happening. And you know I feel like when people have natural growth, it just comes with the territory type of things. I mean, it's like
Mm.
that's just what happens sometimes. I feel like it's not uncommon to see have someone that's involved or know someone through another friend, like just mutuals, or because Twitter just exists, that we see you just see it passing by. You know, it's like you don't even know who this person is, but the algorithm will push it because it's getting the likes, like you said. You know,
I
so
know.
it's it's definitely not the prettiest picture sometimes, and sometimes you gotta look away if you don't want to see it. And like you said, ignorance is bliss. But then sometimes when you need
Sometimes when you
something, you
ignore it,
got
you feel like out of the loop. You become out of the loop at that
yeah.
point.
You can
When you
either
do too much.
you can choose to be out of the loop, or you can choose to get your hands dirty. And how dirty you make them is really up to you and your own
Yeah.
personal mental
But like
capabilities to deal with
I
these
feel like
items.
people can still see it and be like, "Oh, that sucks," and then move on with their
Yeah,
day.
right.
Like it's okay to just be like, "Oh, that sucks. That sucks that that happened," and then like talk
Oh
among
well.
yourselves.
Oh well.
You know,
Scroll.
you can keep scrolling. It's fine. Like
Yeah.
that's an okay thing to do. You don't have to be like, "Oh my god, oh, if I'm here, yeah, yeah, I can't believe fuck that guy. Oh god, fuck it." I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's
Yeah,
like
it's like the
if
it's
you're
the
getting involved
point.
or being the middleman or like going to the other person. That's what I mean. Sorry. It's like going to the other person who is involved in like that quote unquote tweet and hating on that other person just cause like you saw a stupid tweet and then you go to their comments and start going like fuck you, like or trying to be a middleman between two people. Like that's not something you should be doing, like unless you're truly involved. i
Exactly.
don't
It's
I
like
don't think being a middleman
everyone.
is a good thing to do.
Yeah, it's like everyone's got to, like, for some reason people have nowadays have been, I wouldn't say brainwashed, but I don't know what the term is, but think that everyone needs to say something and you have to pick a side and always gotta be involved, because if it's not, it's like if you're not doing anything, it's
I feel
you're
like
you're
here's the
you're being
thing.
useless. But I mean, but that's just one side of that's one perspective, right? That's how I see some people, because some
Yeah.
people just want to be involved whether it's not about them or not. And
I
then
feel like there's
there's
an extent though to choosing quote unquote sides,
right.
because like there's two things.
Hmm.
There's an extent to where there is a right side. There sometimes there is a right side to go
Okay.
to.
Hmm.
Uh but I feel like it's in the sense of if someone did your friend fucking wrong, you should not be friends with that person.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah, for
like
sure,
if
for sure.
especially if you see the evidence, you should not be friends with that person.
Right, 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 right.
If your
Like,
friend is literally crying in their fucking bathroom consistently because of someone, I would not be friends with that person either. Like I
hmm,
I would literally cut them off, or then I would tell my friend if they're still friends with that person that's hurting them. I would be like, "Yo, bro, you should fix yourself, and you shouldn't be friends with someone who is hurting you." But I'm not gonna tell them like straight up like unfriend them right now. Do it right now. Listen to me. Like you have to. Like I'm just gonna be like, I think you should. Like it's an opinion. It's a advisatory kind of thing. You can't force someone to be not friends with someone, but there is sometimes a right side to some things. If it's something petty, that is literally like you don't have to care. Like, if it's something like a petty problem between two friends and you're not really involved and it's just something simple and dumb, like then you don't really have to choose a side. You
right,
don't
right, right,
like, but
right,
if someone like is genuinely getting hurt,
right.
that's when
That's
side
when you choose. That makes sense. But
yeah.
I'm talking about, like, just the petty stuff. The petty stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
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 no,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah,
You
yeah.
don't
That's
always have to
yeah,
for that
exactly. Like,
because that only
it's
makes things worse.
exactly, exactly. For the
Yeah.
stuff that someone's been wronged, and like there's evidence and all that stuff. Nope, no problem, no problem. I get it. There, you definitely
Mhm.
pick a side there, but it's all the
100%.
stupid petty stuff. I'm just like, bro, really, really? Why are you involving yourself?
No, for real, and it's like
uh,
I've seen people like comment on things that never were even involving them.
right.
Like for example, I had a friend who was going through something, and another person that I knew of that only knew them as an acquaintance
Hmm.
made a comment saying, "I'll talk about the situation later," even though they were not involved in the situation.
Oh my goodness.
like they're like, "I'm so upset. Like I was like good friends with this person. I can't believe that this happened. Like I'll say my piece on this later, and it's like, dude, you weren't even involved. Like you weren't even like in that group. You were simply an acquaintance of them. You were simply a side friend. You were not wronged by them personally. The most wronged you were was you saw things happen and your friends get hurt. All you really had to do was just cut that person off, and
Mm.
you don't have to really get yourself involved. You know,
Mhm,
you don't have
mhm.
to say anything because your word technically does not matter because you were not involved.
Right, right, right,
Like,
right.
why? Who cares what you have to say? You
Mhm,
were not involved.
mhm.
And how, do you want to be involved? Because that's how
Do
you
you
get
wanna
involved.
be involved?
That's how you get involved.
You
If
wanna
you
you
want to
want
get involved,
you wanna get dragged
you
through the
say
mud? Be my
anything.
fucking guest.
That point, because it's like, dude, if you really genuinely like don't care and about like whatever fucking view you, like the fact that people view or whatever, I don't know what I'm saying. Hold on, let me rewind my brain
Mhm.
real quick. I can
Okay,
process one
go
thing
ahead.
first. I'm really bad at wording. If you really care about your friends, if you know that you were not involved and you don't want attention and you're not trying to get attention,
Mhm.
shut your fucking mouth and go your own lane.
Right.
Thumbs up. like, like, just be a friend to your friends and stay in your lane. Like, that's literally what you like. That's the best thing you can really do. Unless you're involved with something genuinely and we're actually like on a personal level, like hurt
Mhm,
by certain people, and you weren't just like, oh, they said this about this person. She said they should. I saw everything happen. I just saw it happen. Your word does not matter. You were not that person. You just were there. Like you just saw it happen, and because they got caught, now you're like, I saw everything. I'm gonna speak my part about it. It's like, no, you don't have to. You
mhm.
know.
Yeah, I
I'm
get
done
it.
with that rant though. I'm just ranting at this point. Yeah, so it's like 100%.
Gotcha, gotcha. Alright, well, we'll start slowly wrapping up because I feel like
Mm.
this podcast, I see it got real. It got real up in here.
Sorry, sorry,
No, no,
sorry.
no, no, no need to apologize. I'm just like, damn, it got real. It's been a while since we got real up in this podcast. I love Z. I'll get to that one soon. But couple things before we wrap up because we got to the real part. All right, we'll turn this up on a
Mm.
slightly lighter note. So you
Yeah.
said you yeah, and we'll come back to it if you want to come back for another future episode. You can always come back for future episode. You can reinvite yourself because you
Aw,
got that power. You cool like that. If you ever get bored on
aw.
a Wednesday, you be like, oh, be like, hey Neon, I want to be on a podcast. I'm like down if I don't have a guest already. So you have that. Okay. Anyways, point. So you went from the bunny, you left it
Mm.
behind, you turned into what your current aesthetic is now. So what
Goth.
describe dog, but not just
uh,
any kind of
goth.
dog, but like what give me a quick run through of why, like
Um,
all this
so I'm kind of more of like a, I guess like goth. I don't know. I'm not really goth, but like it's like I guess
emo.
goth. I don't know. It's more. I don't know how to explain my design. I feel like it's a mix of like goth with punk with also cyberpunk. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it's a mix of the few. I mainly wanted to kind of go down like a gothic route
Mm-hmm.
because I love goth like outfits. I myself like IRL just more gothic. So I liked like knife earrings, like the crosses and like the cool little skull things, like a small little like fusions here and there. But the reason why I chose a husky dog, because like originally I wanted to be a dog in general. Like I just wanted to be a dog
Mm-hmm.
because well every time I would say hi to my friends in two calls or like whenever my friends would join two calls, I'd always get really excited and like be like, ah, hi, hi, hi guys, hi, hi. I'm kind of I'm like a dog. I get really happy, you know. It's like seeing my it's like when dogs see their owners like come home and they're like, "Ah, hi, hi, you're home. I missed you. I'm that
That's
person.
so
I
wholesome.
message my friends like I'm their desperate ex or some shit. I love my friends so much. I literally message them. I'm like, I miss you. When you wanna play Roblox later? I love you. Hey, hey, I love you. I love you. Hey, hey, are you okay? Hey, are you good? Oh, like, you know, when I
Mhm,
get the time
mhm.
to be able to message my friends, I do message them. I'm like, hey, I miss you. It's really funny. But that's why I chose to be a dog. But a husky. I chose to be a husky because of my dad, actually. My dad loves huskies, and like growing up, he always wanted a husky. And I also
Ah.
really love huskies, and I like their curly tails. And
Mhm.
I don't see very many huskies, so I wanted to be a husky, and that's why I am. I'm a husky assassin.
Woo! Yay!
Yay! And I have like fire tinges because it's my secret power. It's fire because I'm a fire ass dog.
The
I'm a fire ass dog.
which is also really funny because huskies are for the ice.
Yeah.
Which so it makes it even more unique there. So I like it. I like it. Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, they are. I like
Uh,
fire. Fire and the flames that carry on.
yes, yes, exactly, exactly. Do 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 do. All right.
Mm,
Well, Aishi, I'll wrap up this episode. I feel like we could go on forever about anything, but I know you're EP, and I know you used a
yeah.
lot of energy for the podcast episode, which I appreciate for. And we'll do a short post podcast show since Aishi's a new guest. They'll have ara yada yada, all that
Oh, I
good
forgot to do
stuff.
this. I'm so sorry.
Oh, nice. I think you're number 750. Let's go. Let's go.
Yay! Even number.
Let's go. Nice, nice round numbers. Ooh, yay. Okay. So with that, is there anything that you want to ask me or quickly chat about lightning round, shout out, plugs, topics in the next couple minutes before we head off to the post podcast show?
Mhm.
Anything up to you.
Not really. But shout out to Yua and Arduna, because I love them both very much. And shout out to my friend Holmes, because he's fucking homeless and I love him anyway. He's like my best friend ever.
Let's
Shout out to
go.
them.
Shout out to them. Let's go.
I love them.
I've met two of those three people. Let's go.
Yay!
Oh my god, Losley. No way is that Awawa Aishi, my favorite VTuber that used Hyperbeam on the enemy
Crazy.
Tom Catch. Oh wow. Alright.
Hi,
Well,
beam, beam,
alright.
beam.
All right. Well, Aishi, thank you for being on this episode. Like I said, if you ever want to be back on a future episode,
Mhm.
whether I invite you or not, you let me know because you got that privilege. And yeah, because you awesome. You're awesome. I've always loved to
Aw,
have you back. And maybe we chat some more stuff off stream. Yada yada. You're an awesome person. Like I don't want to downplay it, but I don't want to get like sappy about it because there's still
aw.
so much to talk and chat about and all that good stuff. But yeah, thanks for
You're so
being
cute.
on.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. I appreciate it.
No, I
Thank you for
appreciate.
letting me talk my shit.
Of course, of course. It's why it's here. If it was a podcast and I didn't like talk your shit, damn, I'm a terrible podcast host. God damn. All right.
Talking
Well,
shit, talking shit.
with that said, thanks for being on. Thanks for everyone who's in chat. If you're watching on YouTube, you watch all the way through. Good job. Comment why Huskies are awesome if you watched all the way through.
Because they're
Otherwise,
silky and they have curly tails.
mm-mm.
Curly, fluffy tails.
There it is. The fluffy tail. So fluff. So floof.
So much fluff. Yes, I have so much floof.
The
So much
floof.
floof. I have so much
Nice.
floof. It's so floof.
So floof. All right. Well, with that said, if you want to The VOD will be posted, and I'll send it to you eventually once I post it because I lag on uploading these sometimes. But I'll send it to you, Aishi.
Same.
But yeah, stick around for our short post podcast show. We'll chat a little bit more, and then we'll have Aishi go to bed because she EP. And so yeah, so say
Uh,
say bye YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.
Yay!